Okay, YouTube. So I wanted to do a little video testimonial on my progress as far as maximum healing speed 5.5G, which is a subliminal audio program created by Indigo Mind Labs. So, what I wanted to talk about is kind of where I was when I started the program and where I'm at now. And today is actually day 26 of listening to maximum healing speed, which actually I've missed 3 days total of listening. So I've had 23 days of total listening, but with new versions of Subliminals, they have some technology in it called P5 and P4, which run in your head even when you're not listening to it. So it's like you're listening to the program even if you don't listen to the program. Anyway, so I wanted to give a little video testimonial. My progress so far, I want to say in the first week, the first day I listened to the program, I immediately felt a sense of warmth and euphoria flush through my entire body. And then after the warmth, the euphoria, I felt a coldness, and it wasn't like a dark, cold feeling. It was actually just like fresh air. If you can imagine that, it was like a fresh, cold air that was hitting against my body, except it was on the inside. Also, the second day, I felt some activity. It was like a little pain it wasn't a pain, it was more of like there was sharpness at the top of my lungs. And I imagined that was the program healing the tops of my lungs. If for your information, I actually was a habitual smoker for 10 years. So sure, there's more than just the top of my lungs that are damaged, but at least I can tell you that's probably what the program was being directed to heal at day 2. A couple of days later, I woke up in the morning and I felt this pain in the back of my body, and the kidneys are there in that particular location. So what I was imagining that to be would be the detox effect, because MHS 5.5G has a detoxification effect. Now that happened like around 5 days to a week. I'm not entirely sure the exact day. I can look at my journal and you guys can read it as well to check on the actual reports. But as far as after that, funny enough, like on week 2, I had 3 different incidents where I pissed off a cat, whether it was my cat or my friend's cat. And every time I pissed this cat off, one of these cats, they would leave me with a token of their appreciation, such as scratches, like cats like to do. I had one right here. You can see that it's pretty deep gash. I'd say it's about an inch long, maybe half an inch or a quarter inch wide. So the awesome thing is, I know the program doesn't necessarily completely stop you from getting hurt, because that'd be stupid to think that. Nobody's invincible, and this program's not going to make you invincible. But one of the goals of the program is that when you heal, it prevents itching during healing. And I did notice that for 100% fact, that as this wound healed, I had experienced 0 itching. I also got a scratch on my forehead. I don't know if there's that big of a scar. You might be able to see it in the video. I see it in the camera right there. And also in my hands as well. Yeah, you can't really see it. It pretty much healed up. And I mean, these are just small things that, like, physical on the outside, that I can tell you as far as what happened externally and what I can tell you about. So yeah, these seem to be healed up pretty much. One thing that I'm really hoping that the program heals is some spine pain. So I had a seizure in 2011, which I had an impact so hard against steel rods behind me, and the impact was so severe that it busted a few of my thoracic vertebrae. And when it healed, there's either some scar tissue or there is some nerve endings that didn't heal all the way. So I've been left with, for the past 6 years, this pain in my back that has been continuous. Unfortunately, the program hasn't done anything to heal that. It might take a lot longer than the time I'm willing to give to it, which hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be running it for 2 months to 3 months. But if it doesn't help by then I mean, it's not necessarily something I want to keep going after. It's not debilitating by any means, it's just annoying. I also had an accident a couple years ago in a car where I kind of messed up here, and I don't necessarily see any I don't feel any healing going on there either. It's like right here, it's where the bone, this bone, wrist bone connects to the thumb bone, and I didn't necessarily, I mean, it feels just as bad as it did when I started the program, and bad isn't even the right word. I mean, I just know it hasn't 100% healed, that's all. As far as internal organs are concerned, I actually had been for not the last 10 years, but for 10 years from when I was 15 till 25, I was a pretty heavy substance abuser. I've abused many different substances, things that have done some damage here and there to my internal organs, to my brain, to other things as well. And as far as being consciously aware of any of those aspects that have been healed, I am not entirely sure if anything has been healed. I'm sure that the energy is going to those areas, especially my stomach and especially my liver. I'm sure there's energy being channeled there so that I can heal. But I am not entirely conscious of it, and there's no real litmus test that I can say, oh, I feel my liver, yeah, it's fine. Like, put my hand on my liver and say, oh, yeah, it's good. There's no way of saying that, because, I mean, with scars like this, you can actually look at it and say, oh, cool, and you could feel it healing. But, yeah, so that's as far as the internals are concerned, the insides. Other internals, which is mental internals and emotional internals, that's an important thing as well. What I've found is that there are certain mindsets in other people, mind you. I've noticed this in other people, that I can see how their mindset keeps them sick and it keeps them susceptible to being ill. And truth be told, my ego told me that I didn't have any of those beliefs, I didn't have any of those thinking patterns. But I mean, the program does work on any limiting beliefs that prevent you from healing at maximum capacity. So, sure enough, over the last week, which would be week 2 to week 3, a little bit of week 2 and a little bit of week 3, I experienced some depression, which, from my experience of running other subliminals, I know that when I have depression, I'm usually resisting something, or I am clearing something. So after about 6 or 7 days of just being depressed, I had an experience where I said something out loud to a group of people, and I basically admitted some faults that I have about I had been failing at doing a certain task in one of these groups that I'm a part of. And by saying it out loud in front of everybody and admitting that, I felt this wave of euphoria over me, and then peace. That clearing patch or resistant patch just ended like that. So ever since then, now it's been since Monday, and today's Thursday, so that's three and a half days where I just am no longer in that clearing phase. So I want to say something significant got improved over that time. So this is still not even day 28. My mom did also run this program, and she's continuing to run this program. She's on month 4, and she's having tremendous results. I wish I could have the results that she's having. And I talked to her, and she said that she also experienced the little depression and time that she was down mentally, which was right around in the first month. So I believe I just crossed that barrier, crossed that obstacle. Now that I'm on the other side of that obstacle, it should be more energy should be channeled directly into healing, rather than energy being channeled into my mind, into my emotional state to rewrite old negative belief patterns and thinking patterns. But now the energy can be channeled properly, and my mind will not be interfering, because it now believes that it can actually use that energy constructively. So that's my MHS 5.5G testimonial so far. I will be making another update as soon as I get maybe another 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or if something significant occurs, I'll definitely be making a video update as well. So other than that, you guys take care. Thanks for watching.